Hello there, I'm Isaac Stewart. I'm the head of creative development at Dragonsteel. So if you remember in 2020, we did the Way of Kings crowdfunding campaign. And part of that campaign was the release of the Way of Kings Prime, which is the first book in what we call Sanderson Curiosities. These are books that are not intended to be taken as canon, but a lot of times these were things that Brandon wrote a while back and then he rewrote into something else. So that's what the Prime moniker means. So Way of Kings Prime, he wrote in 2001. He rewrote it later for the version of the book that we got in 2010. So if you remember during that campaign, this is what we released. And if you remember back in 2020, there were a lot of things going on. Things like supply chain issues and everything that came with that. At the time, we asked the supplier, how long is this material going to be available? Because we want to do a lot of other curiosities in the future. And they said, we think that this material is going to be around for a good long time. So fast forward to now. That material is no longer available. So this happens sometimes, that a material that you used is no longer available. So I went back to our print rep, Bill, and I said, Bill, for the Prime books going forward, are there materials that have been around for forever that it's less likely that we're not going to be able to find it in the future? And he gave us a few options. And funny enough, one of the options is very similar to what we've already used on the secret projects. Have a very similar feel, kind of velvety, takes foil really well. Though with the Prime books, we're not planning to do anything other than the gold foil, which will look really classy on your shelf together. Let me show you some of the materials then that we've picked for Dragonsteel Prime and also for Way of Kings Prime. So for Dragonsteel Prime, we have this nice red that kind of matches the branding of our Dragonsteel logo in some ways. And also for Way of Kings Prime, we've tried to match as closely as possible what we have for the older version of the Way of Kings Prime. This particular sample right here is a little lighter than what we've chosen, so don't be too worried about that. You'll have a nice dark gray Way of Kings Prime next to your nice red Dragonsteel Prime.